Marketers like me always tell you to use storytelling in your marketing efforts, but what does that actually mean? In this video, I'm going to explain how to do it, but also I'm going to explain the science behind why storytelling in your marketing works. My name is Danae. I make marketing simple. If you're new here and you're interested in marketing, definitely consider subscribing and signing up for my free newsletter, The Digital Marketing Diaries, which you can find in the description. So I'm just going to get straight into it, and I'm going to start by sharing a little story. John took a book from the library. Sally received a scary call from the police. John called Sally very frightened in jail. Sally fainted. I want you to stop and think about that story for a second, replay it if you need to. Now, I know your mind is probably turning and coming up with all these conclusions. Maybe you're thinking that Sally is John's wife or partner of some sort. Maybe you're thinking there was something, expensive or wrong about the book that John took. Why did he take the book? Did Sally faint because John called her in jail, or did she faint because other issues were happening? But regardless of what you're thinking, I know that your mind is trying to fill the gaps because that was a very succinct story. There wasn't a lot of context given. And that's exactly how our brains are supposed to work. We are compelled to seek connections and try to understand the reasoning and connections behind everything. Our brains are hardwired to connect to stories. It's not just something we use for entertainment, it's actually a survival skill as well. Us as humans think in narratives because they provide order and meaning to our human existence. And stories actually have the power to elicit chemicals within us. So I'm going to quickly dive into some of our hormones that are affected by storytelling and how we can leverage them in our marketing. Okay, so first we have dopamine. You've definitely heard about it before. It's released during emotionally charged events, and it actually enhances our focus and motivation and our memory. In marketing, you can create this dopamine effect by using suspense and cliffhangers because it keeps people emotionally connected and wanting to know what happens next. Also, the suspense keeps your audience focused, which means they're more likely to remember it after, a couple hours or days after they've seen the ad or copy or whatever you're using the suspense in. So next we have endorphins, and they're usually released in response to pain and stress, but are known to induce feelings of pleasure. And humor can actually trigger endorphins, making people feel more relaxed, at ease, peaceful. So by incorporating humor in your storytelling, you can make your brand more relatable and feel good and enjoyable. Next, we have oxytocin, known as the love hormone. And oxytocin fosters trust, generosity, and bonding. So if you create stories with empathetic characters that people can relate to and understand, you have chances of releasing this hormone. They'll feel a connection to your brand and are more likely to trust you long term. Okay, so now that we understand the science of storytelling, how do we craft a story that can leverage what we've just learned? So I'm gonna get into some techniques that you can use in pretty much any form of your marketing to elicit the hormonal responses that we just talked about. So the first technique is the most basic and really simple, easy to follow, but it's good because you can really make the most out of it. You can use it on a very basic level, but you can also get very intricate with it and add on different things to it. And that technique is called the hero's journey. It was developed by a man named Joseph Campbell. I had to check my notes for that one. It's a narrative framework that outlines universal patterns of adventures and transformations that heroes undergo in a story. And it's divided into 3 main sections: departure, initiation, and return. And within these, you'll find several other stages, but I'm gonna give a very basic breakdown today. So to explain the departure briefly, the hero is living in an ordinary world and they receive a call to an adventure, and after some tension and some back and forth, they decide to take on the call and cross over into this unknown territory. So this could be as simple as, a girl in a romance movie who's living in a small town and then, is deciding whether she's going to go to this big university in this big town to go, into the new world and leave all her horses and animals behind. And marketing, the departure is your customer as this hero who's living in this ordinary or problem-filled world and is going to take the leap into changing the issue, the problem that they're facing with your product. So with the hero's journey in regards to marketing, you want to make your customer the hero of the story. So the departure is just the tension between the ordinary world or the problem world, the hesitation, and then making that leap into the unknown, which leads us to the next phase, which is the initiation. And during this initiation phase, the hero faces trials and tribulations. They confront enemies. They undergo very difficult times and a lot of conflicts. But this whole process is very transformative and makes them a new person. So back to that romance movie example, the person goes to this big city and they realize it's so different. They don't have their animals around. The guys are different. Everything's all crazy. They go through bad relationships, but then they find the one. And this really transforms them and, turns them into someone they never even imagined that they could be. And in regards to marketing, this could be, for example, your customer trying out other solutions to find before they found your product and reminding this of them within your marketing. So you're taking them through the journey. I actually just wrote an ad script yesterday for a client in the beauty space, and I unintentionally use this technique within the ad by, addressing, okay, I know this is what you do on a Sunday, and these are the things that you've tried every Sunday with all these other products. By wording things in that way, I'm making the customer the hero, and they can literally imagine themselves in the situation, therefore potentially imagine themselves using the product that we're promoting within the advertisement. But moving on, we have the return stage, and this is where the hero goes back to where they're from, and they come with all this profound wisdom and knowledge, and they're a completely different person in a positive way, and maybe they're able to be a benefit to others in a way that they weren't before. And as a whole, they were transformed by the journey. So again, bringing it back to the movie, she finds this amazing romantic partner. Maybe she has a kid, she goes back to her hometown, she sees her family, she raises maybe her kids there, the typical storyline. This is the same trajectory that we see in a lot of different movies and books that connect us, that keep us emotionally engaged, that make us want to continue watching, and in marketing make us want to continue listening or connecting with the brand and eventually purchasing. So within marketing, in the return, they become their best selves after the use of your product, hopefully continue to purchase it because this is something that has positively changed their life and can continue to change their lives long term and the people around them. They become the person that they want to be or be perceived as with your product. So that's the hero's journey. And in marketing, as I've explained so far, the hero is your customer, and they go through this journey, figuring out their problems, finding a solution, and then becoming their best selves as a result of the product or service that has given them the best results. Okay, so the next technique is called future pacing, and it's used to get your audience to picture themselves experiencing the benefits of your product or service. Future pacing, it creates a mental picture of success, which in turn creates a feeling of satisfaction and success, because our brains can barely tell the difference between something you're imagining and something that's truly happening. So this feeling elicits those chemicals and hormones that we were just talking about and encourage and motivate your audience to take action and do this thing so they can feel that emotion again and feel that success again. I'm going to read a little email snippet that uses this technique of future pacing that I've remembered. I got this email on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 at 9:12 a.m. from one of my mentors, Nick Verge. He's also on YouTube and has some amazing videos, so definitely check him out. But I received this email way back then, and I always remember it when I think of this concept because he did such a good job of it. It says, you wake up and instantly jump out of bed filled with excitement. Today is the day you're heading to Dubai. You've already packed your bags yesterday and you're ready to go. You hit a quick lift at the gym, shower, get dressed, and grab your bags. You call the Uber to come pick you up. Uber Black, please. When you get in the car, you get a notification on your phone that someone just sent you $3,000. You're confused at first, but end up smiling cheek to cheek. Then a text pops up on your phone from one of your clients. Hey man, those emails you wrote for us are absolutely crushing. Just wanted to send you a little bonus for all your hard work. It's going to be a great day and you know it. When you get to the airport, you tip your driver $100 because you're feeling abundant. You walk into the airport filled with joy. You're about to go on an adventure that you've been planning for months. You check in at the gate and have about an hour wait time. So you take out your laptop to respond to some clients. There it is again, that cheek-to-cheek smile. And if your favorite clients messaged you back that they want to move forward on that project you discussed a few weeks ago. Best part is you're going to be making $5,000, $8,000 today, and it's only 9 a.m. The flight starts boarding and you're first in line to get on. You're not going to the back of the plane, you're sitting at the front. You decided to splurge a bit and invest in a business class seat because you deserve it. You're looking out of the window, watching the flight take off. As your city gets smaller and smaller, the higher you go. You pull out a book and spend the first hour of the flight reading. After that, you pop out your laptop and get some work done. Wagyu burgers are being served for people in business and first class. Yum. Blah, 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 blah. It continues. Honestly, I want to read the whole email because it's so good. And for me, I opted into Nick's course. Prior to this email, I had seen his other work and I really liked it. But I was imagining, you know, myself prior to taking his course and gaining the success from his course, like how strong the emotions I would have felt from reading this email would have been if I hadn't already started working with him, because this is the dream life of the particular mentorship that he was promoting. This is the dream life that target audience wants, dreams of. And you know, you can vividly imagine yourself in the situation. He really understands, you know, the little details, tipping your Uber driver an extra amount of money, booking yourself the little business class seat because, you know, you deserve it, and the little messages from your clients, the small details that he adds in. You know, it's only 9 a.m. You take your laptop off to respond to some clients because you love the work you do, those little things. So this is just a great example of future pacing to give you a rounded picture, and you can do this in a much simpler way. As I mentioned in the hero journey example, I do this all the time in ads that I write that are like 30 seconds long, making the target audience imagine themselves in their problem situation and showing them how they can end up at the positive place that they want to be, and vice versa. And now when you're looking at ads online or reading copy, you might notice this technique a lot more. But again, it's something that you can effortlessly incorporate, and it's such an easy storytelling technique to use. So to get the highest chances of eliciting the hormonal responses that I shared earlier, you can use the techniques, very simple techniques that I shared, but you can also ensure that you're using consequential storytelling. What does this mean? In the context of storytelling, it's not about this happened and then this happened next and then this happened next and then this happened next. It's about this thing happening, so therefore this other thing happened. It's about cause and effect. The conflict, the tension, that struggle, that's the most important part. So it's not about this happened and this happened and this happened. It's about what, therefore this happened, so therefore this happened. I watched this video about storytelling, therefore I incorporated it into my brand and made X amount of money. Not I watched this YouTube video about storytelling and then decided and then went to, you know, write a story for my marketing, and then I went to here, and then I did this, and then I did this. Hopefully that makes sense. Because the logical and emotional progression together make the story more compelling and more memorable. And last, but certainly not least, this is something I learned years ago when I was in journalism school. A lot of techniques with storytelling in journalism. This is something that has stuck with me and has been very beneficial in my marketing endeavors, and that is always show, never tell. So we would do these exercises in journalism school. You know, our profs would always emphasize that if you're going to say, you know, this political event happened, John Smith said that he's going to increase the amount of police on the roads. Instead of saying this event happened and John said this, you would just quote John. So the whole goal was to get very good quotes. So you would say, you know, this event happened on Tuesday at 9 a.m. and then you would insert the quote from John. Today I've decided that I'm going to do XYZ, end quote. And then you would say the effect of that. So instead of you telling them what happened, you're showing them through words, through the quotes from whatever was going on at the event, and then adding meaning onto that objectively. You know, a little journalism lesson there. And you want to do the same thing in your marketing. So as much as possible, you want to show, not tell, which means, you know, using quotes from customers, using social proof, pictures. So you wouldn't say, for example, our product has an amazing formula. You want to tell them what's in the formula. Our product uses this plant, which is the most potent ingredient, the most potent form of vitamin C, blah, 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 blah. I always use skincare because I work with so many skincare brands. It's just always on the top of my head. But again, just showing, not telling. This water bottle will change your life. How will it change your life? Show them how will it change your life. And in doing so, use the storytelling techniques that I've shared, the future pacing, the hero journey, and really really focusing all of your materials on your customer and making them the hero, making them see themselves within the marketing. That's what really takes a decent campaign or a decent ad or a decent piece of copy into a really amazing, compelling thing that brings in a lot of money. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Again, if you learned something new, definitely consider subscribing and signing up for my free newsletter, the Digital Marketing Diaries, which you can find in the description, and we'll talk soon.